Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Rags to Riches Challenge. This is episode 34, and I'm pretty excited for this episode because I think this one is going to be the one where we kind of sell our goats and redo this whole pasture area and get ourselves a goat barn. So we will hopefully end up with more goats at the end of the day, but we got a few things to do first before we can get into that. We do still have some decent prices on some of our wood products here, so I think I'm going to do a quick sale of that stuff. I think all of our other stuff, the prices aren't really good enough to worry about it, so we're just going to quickly sell some wood here, and then we also have a rock breaking contract that's just nearby here, so I'll probably go do that one as well. It's not a ton of money, it's only like 2,200 bucks, but it is pretty quick to do those ones, so it's still pretty easy money. So I'm just going to hook up to this trailer here. We're going to have to knock these logs off of here. So I kind of want to just see if I can get this close enough that I can just push those off into that trigger. So we'll get our skid steer going here. Hopefully I can do this without actually swapping the forks out. Not quite sure if I can reach that far across. Oh, didn't quite get the other one. But I think we could do this actually. Go in here. Let's fold our ramps down. Oh God. Went a little bit too far there. Well, that's not good. Okay, well, we're mostly off. I think if we just move this thing out of the way now, should be okay. Oh, now we got this log stuck under us. This has not gone as smoothly as I would have hoped. Now I'm crashing into the skid steer. Yeah, that went a lot differently in my mind. Okay, finally managed to get those damn logs out of the way. That did not go as smoothly as I had planned it. I really don't like how this game kind of handles the interaction with the logs on the ground, where they kind of just don't really have any friction, so you can't get your forks underneath them at all, which isn't very realistic in my opinion. Just want to slide no matter what you do. Especially with all like the ground deformation stuff. What's going on here? Especially with all like the ground deformation stuff that they did, like your fork still can't like deform into the ground at all. Because like normally, like if you're loading something like that, you can kind of do that. You can kind of push your forks into the ground a little bit and let them dig in slightly to get under something like a log like that. But yeah, the way this game handles it doesn't really make it possible. So it's really hard to get under a log at all unless you have something that it's right up against, something backing it that you can push against. So we don't have a ton of wood products here, but they're worth a fair bit of money, so we'll still get a decent little chunk of change. Gonna load these things right at the back here because both of those ones are, both of those ones are going to the carpentry place, so we need to do that back in maneuver. But the beams here, the only place that takes them is the farmer's market, so we can kind of put those anywhere. So I'm just going to drop those forks off there, and we'll grab this rock breaker thing. And I'm just going to park this kind of over by the road because that contract is just kind of on the other side of that grain mill there. And I could bring the skid steer with me, but I think just because I want those wood products right at the back of the trailer just to make them easier to sell. So we'll just leave that right by the road there, and then we can just quickly grab it on the way back by. because we'll basically have to go right by the yard again anyway to get to that contract. So yeah, a couple quick stops to make with this wood here, and we should actually make a decent little amount of money from these couple products. So that should help the bank account out a little bit again. And then, yeah, after selling these and then doing that rock breaking contract, I was kind of fast forwarding through the day a little bit, hoping that some more contracts would come up. But nothing else good really came up. So yeah, I think after we sell these products and do that one rock breaking contract, we're just going to skip ahead into September here. And then we have a ton of stuff that we need to do in September. Because, yeah, we need to, we're going to do another cut on our big grass field, and then that's going to all need to be windrowed and baled and wrapped. We also need to sell the silage that we did in the last episode there. And we also need to plant our other fields back to barley. And then I think we're going to go ahead and hopefully after selling all that silage, we will have enough money to get a goat barn. So we'll have to do all of that stuff. That's going to be a bit of a job because we got to sell that whole pasture and kind of rebuild it and buy new goats. And I'm not quite sure how much all that's going to cost, but it's going to be pretty expensive. So I want to, okay, 13.5 for that, not bad. But yeah, it's going to be pretty pricey to do all that goat stuff, so I want to try and get as much money in the bank as possible before we do that. But I think we should have lots of money to be able to do it once we get this wood sold, and then once we do all those, once we sell all those silage bales. I'm not quite sure if we'll have enough money to like fully restock our goat pasture with all new adult goats. I think I am just going to go straight for adult ones again, just because I think it's kind of worth it, because then you get maximum milk production right away instead of having to wait for them to grow up, which takes quite a while. And almost 9 grand for those beams. That's not too bad at all. So we'll just head back there and pick up the skid steer and go do that other contract. Also, I was looking through my my Steam update history, and there was a small update to this game this morning. I'm not quite sure. I didn't see anything on the store page about, like in the update history, about what they changed. So I was thinking about going to look at the actual like Giants website or whatever. But yeah, I'm not quite sure what changes they made at all. But it seems like they may have done some kind of hot fix. So hopefully some stuff has been fixed. I did go quickly try the like refilling my tools, and that still doesn't seem to work. You still kind of have to do the workaround for that. But although I did fix my pressure washer, so that's pretty handy. But yeah, it turns out that was like a key binding conflict issue. But I'm going to talk about that a bit more in a minute here. Let's get this contract done quickly. Oh, I'm in the wrong field. I was thinking it was this one right here. But it's just over in the next one there. But that's all right. Not too far away still. So we'll strap that back down. So it's actually just over there. Hopefully we can jump across this creek here without getting stuck. Okay, here we go. It's only 4 rocks, so yeah, it shouldn't take very long at all. Just got to unfold it, turn it on, and start breaking. But yeah, the pressure washer, it did turn out to be a key binding issue. And somebody did tell me that before, like a couple episodes ago. And I tried to kind of reset them, or I tried to clear them all. Because they said it was like a conflict. And I did kind of try that, but I couldn't get it to work last time. But I was looking on the internet because it was really bugging me that all my equipment was dirty. So, and I found a bunch of people saying that there was a conflict with the farm stick. So maybe it was actually correlated with when I got the farm stick and not with the update, and those things just kind of happened at close enough to the same time that I didn't make the connection there. But yeah, I tried, so I kind of tried like resetting all of my key bindings, because apparently that worked for some people, but that didn't work for me the first time I tried it. But then if I unplugged the farm stick and tried resetting the key bindings, then the pressure washer worked again. But then as soon as I plugged the farm stick back in, it stopped working again. But I was able to, if I reset it again while the farm stick was plugged in, and then I cleared that key binding from just the farm stick, so the farm stick can't activate the tool anymore, it seems to have fixed it or allowed it to work. So yeah, now my pressure washer works. I went around and got all my equipment all cleaned up. Everything's looking nice and shiny again, so that's pretty nice. It was really starting to bug me there how dirty everything was getting. I had a bunch of stuff that was at like 100% dirt. But yeah, everything is now cleaned up again, so really happy about that. I do have to go along now and kind of redo a bunch, because I did have a bunch of like custom key maps like on my keyboard and on the farm stick already and everything, so I'm gonna have to go through and redo those, which I haven't done yet. But slight pain, but it's good to have a working pressure washer again finally. So yeah, pretty happy about that. So we'll just get this guy unloaded here, and then yeah, I might take one more quick look at the contracts, see if anything else has come up, because there's a ton of contracts available right now. It's just that none of them are really very good. They're all fairly low value ones. So we can complete this rock removal one. A little bit of extra money from that. Yeah, still no contracts that I think are really worth it. Worth the effort that it would take, so yeah, I think we're just going to jump ahead into September here. Because yeah, it's already getting late in the day, and we do have a lot of stuff to do in September, so might as well get to it. And in fact, I think we're going to wake up a little bit earlier than we usually do. Go for 7 a.m. because yeah, it's gonna be a busy day. Might as well get an early start. Okay, welcome to September. Summer is almost over. But we still got some nice weather, it looks like, which is pretty good. Let's see if we got any more good stuff. Oh, we do have a TMR mixer. I mean, 37% off. It's not that great a deal, but it's still fairly new. It's only got 7.6 hours on it. I mean, I do want to get something like this eventually. I wasn't really planning on it yet. We did get a rice planter come up as well, but yeah, I don't think we're ready to get into rice. I still haven't tried rice at all, so I would like to kind of try it at some point, but it seems a bit, I don't know if it's really that worth it, because the machinery for it seems really small. So feels like it would take a ton of effort to get large scale production going on that one. Okay, so let's double check our contracts again, see if we got anything else. Nothing too great yet. So I think I'm going to jump into the Valtra here. We're going to get hooked up to the mower. And yeah, I think that's going to be the first thing we do is get our big grass field over there mowed up. So we can start doing silage on that one. So I'll just get a worker going on the grass over here. And then I think I'm going to move some of those products around because we're looking pretty full in our loading zones for our milk and our eggs. So I'm going to clear out some of that area. And then I don't know if we need to do the wide spreading mode or not, because I mean we are going to be windrowing it up again, but I don't know. I think I might leave it into wide spreading mode just because that's what we already have and we have to windrow it anyway, so maybe that will make it a little bit easier for him. I'm not really sure, but yeah, I think we'll just get a worker going. Yeah, that all looks good, so hire him up. Get all that grass cut. So yeah, I'm going to jump back into the skid steer here and move those, or clear out those loading zones a little bit. And then I'm not quite sure. I might end up selling some of these grass bales just because we have so much more than we can really use for quite a while. So yeah, I'm not sure. It's not worth a whole bunch, but it's also doesn't really do us any good just sitting there. And it's going to take a long time to use it all up, but I don't know. I might wait until we actually finish this this pasture modification and see how many goats we end up with the barn, the new system. Where am I going to put this stuff? I wonder, actually, I might just load it all onto the trailer. Do we need... I don't think we need the trailer for anything else right away. Although I'm going to be kicking myself if something else comes up where I can use it and it's all full of products. Let me just check how long until these things are ready to go. Okay, so peak price for the milk is in like October. And what about eggs? That's kind of in November. So, okay, yeah, we're probably good to load up the milk and the eggs. We'll just try to load them like right to the front of the trailer here. And then if we need to put something else in the back, we can. So I'm just going to move this out of the way for now. Can just kind of leave it over here. And then I think this field needs to be fertilized as well. Yeah. So where's my agro star? We'll get this guy on the fertilizer spreader, I think. Let's see how we'll just get him running on that. Make sure we get this field all fertilized up. Probably should have planned that ahead a little better and had that guy fertilizing while I was moving those pallets around, but that's all right. I think once I sell all of these goats and this pasture, I might come in and mow this too. Just because I want to see if it makes a difference if I get it to 100% fertilized. Because if you remember last time I kind of planted it, it was kind of in the middle of the winter and I didn't want to wait for an extra month to be able to get another fertilizer state before I put the fence down. So yeah, I might try that. Once we sell this, I might go through and mow it and kind of collect it up and then do another fertilizer pass on it. Because I'm kind of curious. It's going to be tough to tell how much difference it's going to make because we're going to end up with a lot less pasture area. But yeah, we're going to have more goats in a smaller area, or at least the same amount of goats. I'm not quite sure how the numbers are going to work out, but like even I think the goat barn itself, if we go in there, because I have 72 goats now, I believe. But if we go over and get this barn, this biggest barn, yeah, it's like 68 goats for just this barn. And like, that's the size of the pasture versus 72 goats for the size of the pasture that we have now. Yeah, not quite sure how that's going to work out, but I'm pretty sure we might have a few more goats for a much smaller area. So they might eat the meadow down faster. So I'm not sure if giving it an extra fertilizer state is going to create more meadow or not. I don't know really if it makes a difference, but yeah, I think because like most of it's growing, it's not really going to accept fertilizer, like if it says in this ready to harvest state. So I think we will have to mow it down again first before it will actually accept any fertilizer. And yeah, it kind of sucks that we're going to have to sell all of our goats, but I still think that's going to be the cheapest way to do it because I was kind of looking at the store and like if you see, like we could potentially like get an animal trailer, which I want to do eventually, but they're kind of expensive for what you get. Like this $25,000 one, you can only fit 13 goats in there. And then even this 125, you can only fit 38. So, I mean, even if we bought this one, we'd only get about half of our goats in there. I mean, a little bit more, but yeah, so we couldn't even fit all of our goats in here. So yeah, we'd spend 125 on that. And then we'd still have to buy more goats afterwards. So, I mean, we could temporarily store them in that trailer, but yeah, I think it's going to be quite a bit more expensive because I was kind of looking as well if we go to the animal dealer here. Because yeah, like we could sell all of these ones, all of our youngest ones for like almost 10 grand. We could sell all of these ones for like 16, so call that 26. And then we could sell all of these ones for like 23. So, I mean, we make almost 50 grand by selling all of these goats. And then to rebuy them is going to be, so yeah, there's $777 each. I can't really see how much the total would be because we don't have any space to put them right now. And I don't really know how many we're going to end up with at the end of the day in the new pasture. But I mean, say even if it was 100, which I'm sure is going to be a high estimate for the new pasture. So even as like a really high estimate, call it like 90 grand once you put in like the delivery fee and everything, minus the 50 that we would get for selling our current goats. So yeah, even if you save 40 grand to get all new goats, that's still going to be way cheaper than having to buy that trailer for 125. And then we still would have to spend more money than that to fully refill the pasture because this one won't fit all of our goats anyway. So yeah, and then this one with only 13, like that's hardly worth it. But I think the biggest thing is that like I have the no renting rule, and that's kind of what really hamstrings me here. Because yeah, if we look at like leasing it, we could lease one of these for 6,300. So if I didn't have that no renting rule, that's probably the way I would handle it. I would probably just lease like 2 of these, and then I could temporarily store all of the goats in that trailer, or in those 2 trailers while I rebuilt the pasture, and then I could put them back in. And it would be cheaper to do it that way, but to buy a trailer just for the purposes of doing that doesn't really make sense financially. So yeah, unfortunately, we're just gonna have to sell all the goats and rebuy them. So kind of planning on about 40 grand to be able to do that. And then I don't think it's actually going to be that much. So if we have 40 grand, we should have money left over. I think we're going to have enough money, but it's going to be tight, and it's going to take up a lot of our money. So yeah, this guy is done here. And I'm pretty sure I'm not. Okay, so our fertilizer guy is done. Looks like the Vulture is still going over there, but it looks like he might be almost done already. So I might just drop off this fertilizer spreader and get this guy going on the hoe on that other field there, do that contract, and then I can probably start windrowing with the Vulture. That guy's almost done. Let's just quickly check. Okay, yeah, he is just about done there. So yeah, I think we'll get the Vulture on the windrower. We can start him doing that, and then this shouldn't take very long. Actually, I might do this hoeing one myself, actually, because I can probably do it quite a bit faster than a worker could. And then as soon as I'm done that, I can throw on the baler, because the Vulture should be almost done windrowing by then, and I can throw on the baler and get that all baled up. So yeah, we should end up with a lot of bales out of this field. It looks like there are some patches that got missed, which is interesting. I'm not sure if that's just because it had a hard time getting through the grass there. Although those patterns like almost look like hail damage patterns now that I'm looking at them. I wonder, let's look at our map here quickly. Does it show? Oh yeah, those are hail damage. So, I mean, maybe those spots just weren't fully growing or something like that. That's why they didn't get cut. Okay, that's good timing. That guy is done. So we'll get this mower dropped off, get the windrower hooked up, and he can start on that. I'll go do that hoeing contract quickly, and then we'll get to baling here. And then after that, we'll have to come in and seed these 2 fields to barley, the 2 that we harvested in the last episode. And I do still have to come along with the plow and try to clean up these couple like weird spots. Like there's this one here, and there's kind of a similar spot at the other end that just don't get seeded for some reason. And I think it's probably because I didn't quite plow them in well enough when I expanded that field, but I'm not really sure. So I'm going to try to replow them a little bit, and hopefully that fixes it. So yeah, I will just go grab that windrower, and I'll be back here in a second. 3 headlands seems to be the minimum he wants to do. So yeah, I think we'll just get him going on this. So yeah, that looks like a pretty good windrow. We're going to be stopping every 20 feet to unload the baler, I think, with this thing. And yeah, I'll just do this one quickly here. Shouldn't take me very long. Okay, that didn't take very long at all. Got that contract finished, so while I'm over here, I'm just going to stop at the store quickly and repair this thing. Trying to repair things as often as possible. Just because that's the best way to keep the cost down, I believe. Because they do kind of increase the more damage you have. Costs aren't linear. So it seems to be much cheaper to keep them repaired rather than letting them get super damaged. But it is a bit of a pain having to drive all the way down there every time. So yeah, it's going to be nice when we get our own workshop in the yard here, which hopefully shouldn't be too far away. The workshop itself isn't that expensive, but we do need to do a bunch of other stuff before we kind of make room for it. So we can just drop that off. I'm gonna go collect this contract quickly. A little bit of extra money. Now where is my baler? I must have left it down over there somewhere. Oh yeah, I think I can see it. Okay, we'll run down there, hook up to the baler, and we can probably start baling up the grass there behind this windrower. Kind of see. Well, I guess he's still working on the headlands there. So I should maybe let him get a little bit ahead of me. Yeah, maybe I should. Okay, I'm going to go grab that the plow, and I'm going to work on these little strips here. See if I can fix those up quickly. Because then once he's done windrowing, I can get that tractor on the seeder, seeding those fields while I finish up the baling and wrapping. So I'm not sure if I need to do like the field creation mode in order to fix these, but I think I'm going to try it anyway. We'll do it like that first and see what happens. So we'll just kind of go over these spots a little bit. Shouldn't take very long. And then hopefully when we reseed that, they'll be fully seeded. Hopefully it fixes these spots. Alright, well, I think that should probably fix it. Hopefully, anyway. If that doesn't do the trick, then I don't know what to do. So I'll just drop that off there again and go down here. I'll go grab our kind of supply trailer and kind of bring that over to the field because I think we need to refill the baler with net wrap. Pretty sure it was getting pretty low there. Okay, so we definitely need to restock our net here. Yeah, so yeah, we still, for this stuff, have to get out and back in. Okay, let's double check that we're on 150s. Yeah, that should be good. We'll turn on automatic drop as well. And yeah, we can probably get to baling here. Oh, the other thing, I'm going to reset the bale counter. We got 56 bales in that stack of silage bales over there from our other two fields, although we would have got more than that if I hadn't screwed up and done a bunch of 180s before I remembered, so. But I think this field usually gets us about like 65-ish per harvest. Can't remember for sure now, but yeah, they're probably pretty similar between this field and those two other barley fields, so. Yeah, but this one should be quite a bit higher because we're doing like a double cut here, so we should be somewhere on the order of like 120 bales there. Get that baler started and header lowered, and yeah, we'll start going. And yeah, you can see that bar fills up pretty quick with the size of these windrows. We're going to be stopping pretty frequently, but yeah, we're gonna end up with a lot of bales on this field. All right, we got that field all baled and wrapped. That is a lot of bales. It ended up being 116 that we got out of that field, so pretty good there. I'm gonna leave those for now, but these bales are all ready to go. They're all converted to silage, so we're gonna get these ones picked up and sold, I think. Because I don't really want to do more baling and wrapping right now. But yeah, I think after I get these sold, I am going to go sell all of our goats in our goat pen and kind of mow and bale and wrap all of that grass in that area as well. Probably won't show you guys all of that because I'm sure you've had enough of baling. I know I've kind of had enough of baling at the moment, but yeah, it should be worth a decent amount of money, so I don't really want to pass it up. Plus, I am just kind of curious to see if it makes much difference if we do the 100% fertilizer state versus the 50% that we had before. So it looks like that worker is just about done seeding that field to barley there. I got him to do this field back there as well, so that's all seeded. So whereas barley fields are almost ready to go again. He did kind of annoy me though. I thought he was done down at this field because he had stopped down at that corner there. And then I went to switch him over to this field and the worker was still going, but that windrower was just slightly in the way. So he had just kind of stopped. And I must have missed the notification that he was blocked or whatever, but he had just been sitting there for I don't know how long, just wasting fuel and putting hours on the tractor and getting paid to do nothing. And I went and moved the windrower, and it was like I moved it like a foot, and that was good enough for him to go. And I mean, I'm sure, and I think he had like plenty of room that he could have gone forward that extra foot and not even hit the windrower. So that was kind of annoying. But we're all full here. So I think our best price, well, the best price is at the biogas place, but it's a little bit further away. Actually, let's double check that because it's like a couple $1,000s difference. I think it's this one. No. What's that place called again? Biogas 1 megawatt. I mean, yeah, it's not a huge difference, but it is a couple grand. So it might, yeah, maybe we will head up there. I don't think I've ever been there before. Just up in that corner there somewhere. We'll see how difficult it is to get to, but it shouldn't be too bad. It's, yeah, basically the same distance as the farmer's market. Okay, I think that guy just finished. So yeah, barley field's good to go. And yeah, I did already check, and they are 100% fertilized because we still had a 50% fertilizer state from the grass. And yeah, now that it's seeded with that seeder that does fertilization, it's already at 100%. So we basically don't have to do anything with those barley fields now until next year. And now that that guy is done seeding there, for the next loads, I'll switch out to the Voltra because it travels quite a bit faster. So I should make the selling go a little bit quicker. Now where do I sell this stuff? I mean, I can kind of see the dump icon over top of those things. But I don't know. I wonder if I can actually sell bales here. Because I don't know how to get those bales into that thing. So yeah, maybe this one doesn't actually work. Maybe it needs to be loose to sell here. But I'm not quite sure. I mean, I wonder if I just get close enough and activate the trigger if it would work. Maybe I'll try that, but yeah, we might not be able to sell here. Oh, no, definitely don't want to buy it. That is not the right one. I was thinking it was kind of like the sawmill maybe, where you have to kind of activate it, but yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking you need to sell the silage not in bales at this place, because I could potentially try to like unload the trailer into those things, but then if it doesn't work, I don't know how I would get those bales out of there. So yeah, I guess we're not... What is this one? That one looks like it's more for like slurry or something, right? Not quite sure, but yeah, I don't know. But yeah, if you guys know if I can sell bales at that place, let me know. Let me know how I'm supposed to do it, because yeah, I'm not seeing a good way to do that there. So yeah, I guess we're going to the farmer's market after all. Okay, back at the yard here. Got all that silage sold. We've got almost 160,000, so that should be plenty of money to do what we need to do. But yeah, I guess it's time to say goodbye to all of our goats. Kind of a shame. These ones that were kind of born and bred on our own land here just kind of reached adulthood. So, and yeah, only the oldest ones are actually at max value. So we won't get quite as much money as we could if we had waited till they were older. But yeah, what can you do? There's no real good way to transfer them to the new pasture without like buying a trailer. But that ends up being quite a bit more expensive than just kind of selling them and rebuying them. So I guess we will just sell them. That group has been sold. And we'll sell this group as well. And sell all of these ones as well. So now we have no more goats left. And now we will go in and sell the pasture itself. And yeah, we've had it for almost 2 years. We only get 6,500, which is kind of a ripoff because, I mean, it's like the initial pasture cost like 14 grand, but then I think I spent like an extra 30 grand or something building the fence. But then when you sell it, you still lose all that fence, but you don't get any refund for the fence at all, which is kind of a ripoff, but what can you do? Yeah, and then before we build the new barn here, I'm going to mow all this and get it baled and wrapped. We don't necessarily have to, but it is going to give us a little bit of extra money, which we're kind of going to need because we do still have lots of other stuff we need to buy. And yeah, I am just kind of curious, as I said before, about what happens if we can actually get it to a 100% fertilizer state, if we'll actually end up with any more meadow. So I just got to go grab the mower. It's still over there. And I'll come back and get that all mowed up. And then, yeah, I'll probably skip showing you guys the baling and wrapping since we just did a bunch of that. And then I'll check back in once that's all done. And we're ready to rebuild the barn and the pasture there. Okay, I think we are ready to go here. Got everything mowed and baled and wrapped and moved out of the way and got it re-fertilized. So I think we are ready to build the new goat barn now. So yeah, we're at 100% fertilization here. I definitely missed a few spots. I didn't spend a ton of time trying to get it perfect. So yeah, there's a couple of these taller ones that I missed while I was mowing, and then these smaller ones are kind of where it was kind of eaten down before. So it was already harvested and started to grow back. So yeah, I couldn't really mow those spots. So yeah, I think we're ready to go here. Oh, before I get started, as usual, I'm going to save and then turn off auto saving just because, especially with dealing with these fences here, they can be a little bit finicky. So I just want to make sure that I can revert things if I screw something up or if the game doesn't let me do something. I also think I'm going to sell these beehives for right now. I won't get a ton of money, but I think I'm going to try to expand this pasture as far as possible down on this end. I think I might even be able to get into these trees a little bit. Not quite exactly sure where the property line is, but I'm going to try my best to get as much into here as I can. And I don't want those beehives to be in the way. We won't be missing out on a ton. The production is definitely pretty slow. Like I knew they'd be slow, but I wasn't prepared for just how slow that would be. We barely have any honey produced at all so far out of those 4 hives. So I will buy them back eventually. We will get more hives. I'm also not quite sure because I kind of got mixed responses when I asked about that last time. Some of you guys said that there is no limit to how many you can place in a particular spot. But some people said that there is, like you can only have one per area and you won't get any increased production past that. So yeah, I'm not quite sure who to believe because you guys gave me both answers there. So, but yeah, I am gonna definitely buy them back eventually. But we might try to spread them out a little bit more next time. So actually, before I do this, I might do a little bit of softening through here just to try to smooth it out a little bit. That's probably good for that. So yeah, we're going to grab this biggest sheep barn here. And then yeah, I think I'm going to kind of put it down in this area facing this way. Because we should still have room. Because I mean, we can only put it so close to here. Because this area right along the fence isn't really owned by me anyway. So I can only put it to about here. So that's still going to kind of give us room to drive through there. To be able to feed down at that end. And then you can kind of see the loading zone is on this end in the shadow there. So that's where all the milk is going to come out. So that'll still leave it kind of exposed to make it easy to load. And then there's not really anything on the other side. It's just kind of the door. That's just kind of the door that you go into, kind of look at the settings or whatnot. So I don't know if I'm going to put it right up against the property line because yeah, I do want to make sure I can still drive through there. But I think this is going to kind of go about here. And we're definitely going to customize the fence, but I just kind of want to look here before we go too far. So it did create a pretty good divot over here. The loading zone itself looks fairly flat though. So I think that's going to be okay. Hopefully we can come in and smooth this out a little bit afterwards. Okay, so I'm going to try to... So the fence on this side is going to kind of come straight out this way. But then this side I'm going to try to maximize as much as possible. So I think we're going to kind of come out a little ways here. And then see if we can kind of go back even more. Going to kind of go back this way. How far out do we want to go? Probably won't go past that cement pad just because still want to be able to drive through there. Then we'll probably kind of go straight south from there. Yeah, I'd say that looks pretty good. Okay, managed to finish it. No, you're not going to plant the meadow. So what do we spend there? Like 20 grand or so on the fence? Not too bad. There's a pretty good slope here, though. Interesting. I want to see how many sheep we actually, or how many goats we actually get to get in there now. Okay, 94. I mean, that's not bad. That's what, 22 more than we had before. Not too shabby. I think this is basically what it's going to be. But I'm going to delete this, I think, or like reload the save, and I'm going to try placing it in free mode. Because I'm not sure. I don't really like how high this ended up, or how much hill there is here. I might actually come in and try to like lower this a little bit or something. Not quite sure, because yeah, that's ended up with a pretty good slope there. Because I do want to put like greenhouses right along here as well. Yeah, I am gonna quit here and retry that. I might play around with it a little bit, but yeah, you will check in again with you guys once I get it placed. But that's basically going to be the gist of it. That's where I want to put it. I'm just going to play around a little bit to see if I can kind of get the ground leveling a little bit flatter and stuff like that. Okay, one more try, and I think that got it. I did spend a few $1,000s first, kind of softening this whole area. So I kind of brought this hump down quite a bit. So yeah, I spent like 4 or 5 grand just kind of on landscaping ahead of time. Can't really bring this area down any lower because I don't own that part next to the pond there. So I kind of limited on that area, but yeah, I was able to flatten this area out quite a bit. Which should make it, like, it wouldn't have been a big deal just on its own, but yeah, I do want to put our new greenhouses kind of right along the fence there in that same area. So yeah, I think that's going to work a lot better for that. Much flatter there for them now. I just want to go check and see how many sheep we ended up with here, or what our capacity is going to be. If I can find the trigger. Okay, about the same, 94. Perfect. So yeah, I'll just zoom out for a second so you guys can see it. I did manage to kind of get into the trees a little bit here. It looks a bit funky because it was being a little bit weird about how it would let me place things in the trees there. But yeah, it was really weird. Like some spots it would say, like I'd try to go like straight across and it would say this land wasn't owned by you, but then I could go like straight back this way and almost put the fence on the road and it would let me do it. So yeah, after a lot of kind of screwing around, weaving in and out of there, we did get some trees in there. So the goats technically have a couple trees that they could go get some shade under at some point. I'm actually probably going to come along at some point and I might plant a few more trees, but I'm not going to worry about that just yet. But yeah, I might add a couple more trees in there at some point just to make it look a little bit nicer for them. But yeah, this is a pretty nice barn. Let's have a quick look at it. So we got lots of like feeding troughs in here. And then, yeah, we've got like our automatic waterers. So that's another really nice thing about the barns is that we'll never have to worry about topping them up with water or running out of water ever again. So yeah, they got a nice big pasture here. We'll probably have to feed them a little bit of grass because we have to wait for this meadow to kind of grow back because we just mowed everything. But yeah, we'll move our grass bales over here. We should have some nice area to kind of just store them out of the way in this area down here. And we still can have a lane to be able to drive through here. So at some point, like I can't really do much with it yet, but I might install that one mod that's like the paint and terraform anywhere. That like kind of lets you paint on land that's not actually yours. And I might kind of paint a road in here. That'll kind of give us an extra little lane. Might be kind of neat. Connect us right to the front of the grain mill down this side. We also kind of got like a neat little nook right in here. This might be a nice place to park the skid steer out of the weather. I think it would fit really nicely right in there. And then we got a nice big loading zone for all our milk here. And then, yeah, I think kind of along this fence, we're going to be able to fit a couple more greenhouses. And then, yeah, we have a ton more room over here. So if we let's just pop back into our thing because, yeah, our fence used to go kind of right along behind the chicken coop right here. So now we have all this extra room in here that we can do all kinds of activities in. Because I was kind of thinking, where is it here? I don't want to spend too much time kind of going over the future plans here because things are still subject to change. Haven't quite decided on anything yet, but yeah, like we'd have lots of room to put like the big sawmill over here. I could put a dairy somewhere in here, probably a couple other things. And then, yeah, like once we move the greenhouses over here and the sawmill over here, we can delete these and that'll kind of free up some more space over here. So, yeah, tons of extra room over there. And we ended up with 22 more goats than we had before. So, yeah, pretty happy with that, even though it was a little bit pricey. Yeah, very, very good. So we'll just bring a couple grass bales over here. And then I think we're going to buy some new goats. Might as well. Yeah, I want to get them a little bit of food before we buy them here, because yeah, they don't really have any pasture to eat. Oh. So yeah, this is a pretty good little spot to store our skid steer here. I like that. Nice and hidden out of the weather. Okay, so we got our troughs full here. Because yeah, it's only showing 700 liters of meadow right now, which is not very good. But I think that's basically just counting these couple little spots that are still long like this. So let's head over here and see if we can buy some more goats. So I think I'm just going to stick with the adults because yeah, it takes quite a long time for these ones to get up to full milk production. And yeah, the adults are quite a bit more expensive, but I think it's kind of worth it in the long run. So so we can fill it right up for 77,000. Should I buy all of them? That's quite a bit of money. But, I mean, we're going to get some pretty good milk production out of them. Yeah, I think let's do it. I'm going to do it before I change my mind here. There. 94 goats. Just bawing away. So yeah, I mean, all that extra grass might come in handy now because yeah, we have more goats in a smaller area. So I imagine they're going to eat through that pasture more quickly, and they're going to eat more grass in the winter as well. So I might bring some more of these bales over here. This skid steer seems to be struggling with doing 2 bales at a time now, which is kind of weird because I know I was doing 2 at a time before, and it seemed like it was no problem, but now it seems pretty front heavy. Oh, yeah. Just tiptoeing around. Uh-oh. Lost that one. I might come along here with the landscaping tool too and see if I can level out where this lip is. Because there's a bit of a bump there. It's a little bit tough to get over. So yeah, this is pretty awesome. I kind of wish I had gone initially and saved up a little bit more money and kind of done this from the very beginning. But what can you do? I mean, we were a little bit short on money back then. We make much better income now than we did then. And I mean, the goats now should actually help with that quite a bit. Because we were doing pretty good on goat milk before, and now we should make even more. So I'm just trying to think if we need to do anything else here. Okay, so those last 2 logs finally got accepted. So we have 12,800 liters left in the sawmill. I think it uses about 3,000 liters per month or so. So my goal is to kind of buy that new sawmill before this one runs out. So we won't, if everything goes to plan, we won't ever restock this one again. By the time that one runs out, we'll have the bigger one over here, and we can just start restocking that one. And then once this one runs out, we can sell it and open up some more room over here. But yeah, that is a pretty awesome expansion. I'm loving that goat barn, even though that was very expensive. Because I think we had almost $250,000 there when we started, but yeah, I think it was like $100,000 for the barn, and then I think that fence was like another 20 grand almost, and then I spent probably 4 or 5 grand landscaping that area, and then yeah, another almost 80 grand for goats. So yeah, definitely expensive, but um, that's something I kind of wanted to do almost since I placed down that pasture and realized how few goats we got for how big of an area that was. So yeah, pretty glad that I finally got that done. So I still need to collect all of these bales. So I'm probably going to come and do that right away, but we also need to weed these 2 fields that we just planted. So yeah, I lied to you before when I said that we wouldn't have to touch these again, but yeah, we don't have to fertilize them again, but we do have to run around and weed them. So I'm just going to hire a worker to start on that, and then I'll go grab the Vultra and the bale wagon and get all of these silage bales stacked up. Okay, got all of that, all those bales collected, stacked up. I did kind of screw up the stack there. Bumped it a little bit too hard and a bunch of them fell over, but I'm just going to hire a worker to get this field fertilized. He should be out of the way. I don't think he's going to interfere with these bales. I hope not anyway. That spreader is wide enough, but yeah, the stack was looking really nice there until, oh, I probably shouldn't jump on it because that is making them roll even more. Yeah, it was looking pretty good, and then I was unloading one load there. I just bumped it a little bit too hard, and they started to move and lost the whole thing here. But that's all right. They should still be out of the way, and they can stay there for a little bit. They're not going to be there very long because we're going to sell those all next month, but it's quite a bit because I think we had 116 bales from this field, and then I think we got another 12 out of that goat pasture area when I mowed that. So definitely the most silage bales we've ever, or the most bales in general we've ever had at one time. That line stretches out pretty good. So I just kind of wanted to go in and check our finances quickly here. So yeah, new vehicles last month. That was that new windrower that we bought. Spent 77 grand on new animals and made almost 50 grand selling them. So what's that, like about 27 or so, less than $30,000 it cost us to exchange all those goats basically. So yeah, definitely the cheaper way to do it. Because even, I mean, that's not much more expensive than even that cheaper livestock trailer. And that would have only let us transfer like 13 of them. So we still would have had to buy quite a few extra. So yeah, without being able to rent those trailers, I think that is still by far the best way to do it, to just kind of sell them and rebuy them like that. But yeah, sold $115,000 worth of bales and spent 120 grand buying that new barn and building that new fence. So yeah, just gonna end this episode here. Still gotta figure out something to do with all these bales. Probably just move them all over by the goat pen there for now. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this episode, and I will deal with that in the next one. So we'll just feed the dog here, and yeah, pretty happy with what we got accomplished today. So hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Thanks a ton for watching, and I will see you in the next one.